Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the sound system demo of the 2023 Infiniti QX80 and its 17-speaker Bose Performance Series audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at audio inputs, adjustments, controls, speaker locations, then we're going to head out on the highway and listen to these sample tracks at 70 miles per hour, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Now, if you don't care about any of that stuff at the beginning and you just want to hear the music, click ahead in the video. We've got chapters to get you right to the tunes. And I recommend listening with headphones so you can hear exactly what I hear in the driver's seat. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. Yes, still loud and proud, the 5.6-liter full-body on-frame Infiniti QX80. It might be a little bit of an older style vehicle, but there are still plenty of people who love this big, mean, boxy design and driving experience. We've seen the QX80 before, but we actually only got to test the 13-speaker Bose sound system, so this 17-speaker system is new to us. If you do want to see more on the car or the sound system, check the links in the description. I will be recording a members-only sound test for this car, so if you want to check that out, get a little more experience with the audio system, click the link below. Now, we always do these tests with lossless, uncompressed WAV files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality Roland binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set to their factory default, so let's take a look at those now. You'll notice that the infotainment system is different than what we saw in the 2021 model, and that is because it's transitioned to Nissan and Infiniti's newer single-screen system. Now, between you and me, I actually appreciated the two-screen setup. I know some people didn't care for it, thought it looked clunky, but I thought it worked pretty well with having Apple CarPlay or Android Auto on the top, and then something else going on the bottom. And I thought the resolution looked nicer, the whole screen looked nicer, but some people quite like the system, and it does work pretty well. We're in the main screen here, but we're gonna go, let's go to menu, and then settings, sound, right there. Starting off with adjustments for bass and treble. Let's go through those. Should point out that the sound system, the touchscreen, is still controllable with this center rotary knob down here, and that does make it nice because this is a pretty far reach up to the screen. It's nice to be able to just kind of navigate through things down here. Below those, you have adjustments for balance and fader, front, rear, left, right. I am surprised that there's no mid-range adjustment in here. In fact, at $90,000, which this Sensory model is coming in at, I would want a full 9-band equalizer for a Performance Series audio system like this, but bass and treble is all you get. Below the fader and balance, you have Audio Pilot, and that is going to raise elements of the music as you get going faster down the road, make up for wind noise, engine noise, road noise, etc. We're going to leave that off for our testing to stay true to recording. Then you have Bose Centerpoint. That's going to create a little bit more of a different focus of your sound. It's not going to be quite as true to recording, but some people really like the way Centerpoint sounds. Let's turn that on and off here. It does create more of a surround experience at the expense of a little bit of hollowness, but I do like being able to adjust the surround volume, even if you don't notice that much of a difference in the overall surround experience. I'm going to leave it off for most of our testing to keep a more true to recording sound. And lastly, you have driver's audio stage. Let's turn that on and off. That's going to give you the most pure driving, pure listening experience. If it's just you in the car, it's going to focus all the sound right here on the driver's seat. So you're going to want that on if it's just you riding around, or if you don't really care about the audio quality for your passengers. And that is it for audio adjustments. For audio controls in the QX80, you got this volume knob here. It could be nicer at this price point. It could be metallic, but it does have nice clicks, so that's good. It's easy enough to grab for the driver. And as Chris pointed out, we should be thankful for getting the volume knob at all here in 2023, so I do like that that's there. You also have volume adjustments on the left side of the wheel. For track selection, you have a seek and track button right here in the middle. You've got a tuning knob on the side. You could use the rotary knob or the touchscreen if you're on the right menu. And lastly, right below the volume knobs here on the left side, track selection. So plenty of ways to do that. For audio inputs in the QX80, you have your standard AM/FM Sirius XM satellite radio, USB-A and USB-C data inputs, Bluetooth, support for wireless and wired Apple CarPlay, but only wired Android Auto, and apps. What does apps mean? Well, I'm not quite sure. It says the audio source for apps can only be controlled by downloaded apps. And we go here, and right, it just says Alexa at this point, but I bet you there are a few other streaming services you could install if you owned this vehicle. Let's get back to our USB 2 here. What does that mean you're missing? Well, there's no 3.5mm auxiliary input jack that I see, and there's no wireless Android Auto, but other than that, you've got pretty much everything you're going to want. And technically speaking, there's no CD player, which you might get in a larger body-on-frame vehicle like this, maybe the Lexus GX, for example, but here in 2023, not a big deal not to have that. Speaker locations. As I said, this is a 17-speaker system. Starting in the bottom left, you've got door woofer 1, probably, mid-ranger there, I was listening to that earlier, 2, tweeter 3, some sort of surround mid-range tweeters going on there, 4, center 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the right side. Coming into the second row, 10, 11, 12, 13. Pop open the trunk, which does take a moment. The subwoofer is actually a dual subwoofer, so that's 14, 15, and then up here, right in the top, 16, 17. Alright, I do want to show you real quick what Apple CarPlay looks like on this new screen. Click onto CarPlay there. You can see you've got a split screen setup. It's still closing back there. Got a split screen setup there. Looks pretty nice. Resolution's decent. Responsiveness is pretty good as well. And you can still use the center rotary knob to scroll through things if you'd rather not touch up your screen. Alright, well that's it for our static stuff. So I'm going to get these things put away and we're going to head out on the road. am really, really surprised and impressed with this 17 speaker audio system here. It's doing everything right. I was driving around doing the members only sound test earlier, listening to my own music and songs I was familiar with and requests and everything. And I thought to myself, well, what would I improve on this system? And outside of the infotainment, the answer is nothing. We listen to a track like this Homeworld Collapse, and it's got low-end drive for those bass drum hits and the bass guitar. It's got nice, high, crisp sounds that are coming all around me, but mostly focused in front with center point off. I'm really happy with it. What I'm not happy with is this Escape who can't figure out how they want to drive. But other than that, I'm really happy with how this is all sounding. It's really well balanced and really well mixed and powerful. Speaking of powerful, for this next song, we're going to turn the bass all the way up and see what it does. Bro, get off your phone. That is powerful. There's a lot of power in this system, and I'm not getting any sort of distortion or shakeage, so you can really bump those dual subwoofers back there and have it sound genuinely good. And honestly, despite not having many audio adjustments, I actually wouldn't change anything. When I was listening to my own music, I didn't change any EQ settings. I think it's very well mixed exactly how it is. The only thing I had on was this driver's audio stage. I think it sounds better and even more satisfying with that on. My thoughts on the 17 speaker Bose Performance Series audio system here in the Infiniti QX80. Like I said halfway through, really impressed and surprised by this system. I've tested the 13 speaker in this car and I wasn't that impressed. This feels and sounds like a top tier sound system. This is a flagship audio system, and this, when people are spending 90 grand on an SUV, is what they should have. We had that Sequoia, which I know is a Toyota, it's not a Lexus and everything. But even the Lexus, what's the big boy? The LX. We haven't had one on loan yet, but we tested it at an event, and it wasn't that impressive. I was disappointed. This, not at all. Even though I don't care for the infotainment system, and it really should have more audio adjustments to be rivaling the top tier systems, in sound quality, this is S tier. This really, really is good. I've been so happy cranking out my own music. Doesn't matter what genre, what style, it all sounds good and I'm happy with it. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to Infiniti for doing a great job with this, Infiniti and Bose, and letting us test it out because we have been very happy with it. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.